In this lesson, we will talk about summary writing, what it is, why it's important to this class, and how to do it. Often students struggle with summary writing because they aren't quite sure what it is. A summary is basically a retelling of the main parts of a piece of writing and putting it in your own words. However, the focus should be on just the relevant parts, not every single detail. Your summary should never be longer than the piece you're writing about. And then what you summarize may change depending on your assignment. So, for example, if you're writing a summary of a novel, your instructor may ask you to focus on summarizing a character rather than the plot of the book, or maybe focus on the conflicts rather than what happens in every chapter. Why do we summarize? First of all, it helps you understand a reading assignment. The more you repeat information, the better it sticks and makes sense in your brain. It also helps you learn to take that information and process it into your own words. This is an important skill because when we get into writing research essays, you will be taking information from sources, putting it in your own words, and putting it in your essay to support your points. So this becomes a very crucial ability to be able to take the main information and condense it down into manageable bits. So how do we do this? First of all, use your own words as much as possible. If you do have a quote, make sure it's in quotation marks. You'll start with a topic sentence. You also want to name the title, the author, the main idea of the reading. Follow with main points in logical order and then tie everything together in a closing statement. So, where do you start? First, pre reading. This is where you actually look at the material. You're not going to read it yet. You're just going to skim over it, see how long it is, look for subtitles, picture captions, etc. Anything that gives you kind of a hint of what the main points are going to be. Next is reading, and this is reading with intent and making annotations or notes, highlighting, underline any way that you do in order to remember important information or information that didn't make sense and you need to go back to. This is how you do rereading. And rereading is not going back and reading the entire thing over. Because you have annotated, and if you've done that correctly, you can just go back and review the parts that you made note of. And then reflecting. This is when you take time to think about the information in the context of the assignment, how you felt about it, think about what you are going to focus on and what you can leave out. Then you want to organize. Organizing and writing is so much better than not because it will help you stay on task. So once you have done your reading and you have your annotations, you've done most of the work. All you have to do is take those points and organize them. So here is an example of a very small snippet of a book um, about controversy over wilderness protection in the United States. The only information I really have is that it's from a book called Living in the Environment by someone called Miller. But that's fine. That's all I have. It's very short. You can see it's only 4 paragraphs. So I've gone through, highlighted what I thought was important, and I've made notes on the side. The main point, question that I had, and then in the final paragraph, of course, money. The point of this writing is why conservation isn't working. And at the end of this reading, I've come to this conclusion. So now I'm going to take this and organize it. I've got my main point of my essay. I have my main points kind of laid out from each of the 4 paragraphs. You notice it's very short because, again, I don't want this to be longer than what I've actually am writing over. And then my conclusion. Then I just have to put it in essay form, which ends up being a very short paragraph, but that's okay because this was a very short snippet. I've got the main points about um, the protection of the wilderness. You'll notice I have losing battle in quotation marks because that comes directly from his words, not mine, and I want to make sure I'm not, again, putting myself within, or my feelings in this essay. Some of the main points from those middle two paragraphs, and then the final one where I say that politics and industry are gobbling up our lands for resources, and this was the main point of this particular exercise. All right, so your final tips. Remember, you want to leave out unimportant details, summarize them as briefly as possible. If you have a direct quote, put it in quotation marks. Limit how much of your own feelings about the reading because this is a summary. This is not about how you feel about the information. And then, as always, before you turn in a piece of writing, you want to proofread, make sure it's correctly formatted, and that you have got everything that you need to fulfill the assignment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.